May dagdag na paraan laban sa COVID-19. Together, we can be the Solusyon Plus. Bida Plus sa maayos na daloy ng hangin. Bida Plus sa maikling pisikal na interaksyon. Bida Plus sa pagsuporta sa bakuna. Bida Plus sa mga kwento ng kaligtasan sa Bida Barangay. Sa dagdag na pag-iingat, maraming buhay ang maliligtas. Bida Solusyon Plus laban sa COVID-19.
Organic acai has very high levels of antioxidants and essential nutrients that help keep your immune system strong. Organique acai premium blend and freeze-dried capsules daily to help increase your resistance against harmful viruses. Keep yourself and your family healthy and protected with Organique.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Organic Acai Premium Blended Freeze-Dried Capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit. Of all the tough decisions you have to make today, your family's health doesn't have to be one of them. Not when you have the choice to go organic and live full, natural, and holistic lives. So start your day right. Load up on antioxidants. Choose only organic superfoods. And keep the momentum going. We're making it easy for you. Live organic, choose organic. It's easier than you think. Mahalagang paalala, ang Organic Acai Premium Blended Freeze-Dried Capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Previously on
Kapag
Wellness Wednesday.
mumove mo na siya, yan, masasakit na yan. Yan, at saka yun nga ulit, is difficulty moving at speaking and little natin ng MRI. So, yun yung ginagawa natin siya. Maraming ginagawa, pero
Wellness Wednesdays with Organique. We care because you matter.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in with us today. So before we get started on this week's Wellness Wednesday, I just want to invite you all to play our game. So this week, may bagong format na tayo for our game. So what we want you to do here is check us out here on our Facebook page at Organique, and then i-screenshot nyo yung maze, and then draw it out how to get to the Organique freeze-dried capsules. So yung correct answers, you can comment them in the post, and then the correct answers will get a chance to win an Organique gift pack. So yung Organique gift pack namin contains isang blister pack ng acai freeze-dried capsules, yung 10 pieces, and then also one acai choco or acai coffee. So if you comment by the end of this episode, you get a chance to win for our Organique gift pack. Now, this week's episode is about hepatitis. So it's about living with hepatitis. Pero ano ba yung hepatitis? Well, of course, to explain to us everything we need to know about it, we have here lifestyle medicine specialist, si Dr. Dex Macalintal. Welcome, Doc Dex. How are you?
Hi, Luisa. Magandang hapon sa iyo. Not magandang hapon din po sa ating mga tagapanood. Yes, I am good. I'm okay naman dito sa Lipa. I hope you are all doing well.
Okay, that's good, Doc Dex. How's the weather there?
Yeah, the weather here is fine. Mainit pa rin. No? Mainit pa rin. Pero yan, minsan umuulan-ulan na. At na medyo lumalamig-lamig minsan. Pero magulo eh. Kaya yung mga tao minsan nakakasakit din kasi sa pabago-bagong panahon. So we have to we all have to be extra careful these days talaga. Hello po, magandang araw po sa inyo lahat ng mga tagapakinig natin at tagapanood.
Yeah, I agree, Doc. I agree. It's good for all of us to take care of our health. Hello, Miss Venus. I thank you for tuning into today's episode, as well as si Jo and all the other viewers today. There's for you, Doc.
Hi. Hi, Venus. Magandang hapon sa iyo. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so Doc, while we just dive into this, what is exactly viral hepatitis?
Okay, so let's talk about hepatitis. Now, yung viral hepatitis, it is actually an inflammation of your liver caused by a viral infection, by a virus. So maraming types niyan actually. No? So para mabilis lang, para maintindihan nila mas mabilis, kapag nakakita kayo ng itis, no, ibig sabihin niyan pamamaga or inflammation. So it's hepa, no? Hepa means liver. So pamamaga ng liver or pagkakaroon ng inflammation ng inyong liver. And then nakalagay dyan is viral. So ibig sabihin, it is caused by a virus. Actually kasi maraming types ng hepatitis. So for the purposes of this video, for the purposes of this discussion, we're just going to talk about viral hepatitis because we also have autoimmune hepatitis and drug-induced hepatitis. That is why kinakailangan i-qualify lang muna natin kasi if we talk about hepatitis altogether, baka bukas pa tayo matapos or baka sa isang araw pa tayo matapos. So, ayan. So, we are talking about viral hepatitis. Again, it is an inflammation of your liver caused by a virus. So, ibig sabihin, meron pong viruses na tumatama mismo sa inyong liver. So, pag-usapan natin yan isa-isa.
Okay. So, Doc, what are the different types of viral hepatitis? Kasi you said that there's many different types, no?
Marami talagang types, no. So sa totoo lang, no, maraming types niyan. So let's go for a rundown first. So alam niyo naman po na sa alphabet, no, meron tayong mga letters A, B, C, D, E, and F and G pa. May ganyan pa then down the line. Pero for the purposes of this discussion, we're just going to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 siguro, no. So hepatitis A, no. Hepatitis A, this is a type of a viral hepatitis wherein medyo mild lamang ito. No? It usually affects children and young adults. And then dito po sa hepatitis A, this type won't lead really to long-term infection, and usually it doesn't cause any more complications. So the liver heals at around mga 2 months, and you can actually prevent it using a vaccine. Tinatamaan ito usually ay mga bata at saka mga young adults. At ito ay nakukuha using what you call a fecal oral route. So ibig sabihin, kapag hindi masyadong maganda o yung pagkakalinis sa mga kinakain ninyo, maaari na magkaroon po kayo ng tinatawag na viral hepatitis, specifically hepatitis A. So the severity of this is usually just mild, no? Mild lang yung tama nito. And then usually hindi talaga sila madalas nagpo-progress to chronic diseases or yung long-term disease. It has good prognosis, ibig sabihin madali gumagaling siya, at pwede nga po na mabigyan ng bakuna laban sa hepatitis A. So you have that hepatitis A virus. So dito, no? So sabi nga natin, it is usually self-limited. Kaya pwede na madali lamang siyang gumaling. So yun, yan yung mga yan yung iyong yan yung inyong hepatitis A virus.
Actually, Doc, so you said it can be prevented with a vaccine. Once you get hepatitis A, is that for life na ba? So hindi naman pwede yung vaccine?
Okay. So kapag ka nabigyan ka ng vaccine kasi, usually it is two injections containing two injections na usually ay 6 to 12 months apart, no? Or pwede rin naman yung isa na halos pareho sila na 2 injections na 12 months apart. Yung hepatitis A vaccine na yan. So yun, kapag meron ka na dyan, usually hindi na nagkakaroon.
Okay. Pero Doc, if for example, I got hepatitis A early, hindi naman siya like, it can't get better like the flu, like, I get the flu and then I get a vaccine afterwards, or ano ba siya, like lifetime, I cannot get anymore.
Maaari na hindi ka na magkaroon nitong virus na to kapag meron ka ng antibodies for it. So you get the passive and then you get the active then.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. And then how about yung B, yung hepatitis B?
Yung B virus, yan. Ito yung medyo madaming information about the hepatitis B virus. Pero paiksiin lang natin kasi baka bukas pa tayo matapos. Your hepatitis B virus usually is a virus na marami ang maaari mong pagkunan. Pwede siya percutaneously or sa skin. No, pwede rin siya perinatal, pwedeng yung mother pwede niyang mapasa yan, and then sexually pwede rin siya. So dito sa hepatitis B virus, people recover in this type of virus in around 6 months naman. So kanina parang mga 2 months, and then this one is 6 months. Sometimes it causes a long-term infection. Pwede siya mag-cause ng long-term infection that could damage the liver greatly. But once you've got the disease, you can actually spread the virus even if you don't feel sick. So ang isang maganda dito, the good news for this is that ito pwede siyang ma-prevent again with a vaccine. So pwede siyang ma-prevent with a vaccine. And then yun nga, ang kinakailangan malaman niyo dito sa B virus na to, mamaya may makikilala kayo na isa pang hepatitis virus na dependent sa kanya. So ito naghahakot to ng kasama. So dito sa hepatitis B virus, sabi nga natin, this could be given, this could be acquired using with a percutaneous route. Ibig sabihin sa mga cuts and bruises ninyo, pwede din siya sa perinatal and then sexually. So dito kinakailangan talaga po na nag-iingat tayo lahat sa ating mga lifestyle. So we have a vaccine for it. We have a vaccine for it. So kinakailangan magte-take din po kayo niyan. And then you also have to practice safe sexual intercourse kung active kayo. And then ang problema dito sa hepatitis B, yun nga, marami siya po pwede maging sakit. It can sometimes it can resolve na halos wala siyang residual symptoms, but then again pwede rin siya minsan na magkaroon ng chronic involvement, and minsan nagko-cause pa siya ng iba't ibang damage pa sa liver. So ayaw natin yan. And then ayun, ang pinakamahalaga dito ay maganda ay mayroon tayong vaccine for this type of virus.
Oh, okay. So it's good to see that there's so many vaccines for them. How about hepatitis C? May vaccine ba for hepatitis C?
For hepatitis C, for hepatitis C virus naman, ang hepatitis C, this one, ang pangit lang dito sa hepatitis C is that wala actually siyang vaccine for this one. The problem with hepatitis C is that it is actually a quasi-species. So ano yung quasi-species? Quasi-species, ibig sabihin, parang sinasabi na walang magkatulad na hepatitis C virus. Kunyari, dalawang hepatitis C viruses na very identical, walang ganon. That's why yung subtypes na magkakaiba talaga. Kaya there are millions of different but closely related quasi-species. So parang ganon, parang pare-pareho sila halos ng pangalan, but then again, magkakaiba sila ng itsura. So, since ganon, yung problema, walang vaccine na ma-develop dyan. You cannot develop a vaccine for hepatitis C. And the problem with hepatitis C is that ang nakikita dito, no, ang nangyayari dito is that usually it progresses to chronic infection. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng lumala, pwedeng tumagal, no? And more commonly talaga nagiging nidus ito for cancer development and liver cirrhosis. So dito, wala talaga minsan na kapag nagkaroon ka nito, no, medyo hindi maganda kapag naging chronic siya. So the best way to cure this is actually preventive. No, ang pinakamaganda is to prevent this from happening. So yes, dito may tanong si Narcisa Pepito. Kapag po ba mayroong hepatitis, malaki po ba ang chance na magkaroon ng liver cancer? Especially if you have hepatitis C, na maaari po na mag-progress siya to liver cancer. That's why ito ang mahirap dito sa hepatitis C. So you really have to detect it early para mas maging maganda yung prognosis natin dito, or mas maging maganda yung inyong pagti-treat dito. Kasi kapag you catch it a little bit late, no? So late din yung diagnosis, late po ang inyong mga treatment. No? So pagka ganun, more of secondary treatment na lang siya. Hindi na siya yung preventive. And kapag nag-develop ng cancer, no, it usually develops liver cirrhosis, liver cancer, so ayaw natin yan. So, isa pa dyan, ay kapag may concomitant din na infection ng hepatitis B, so mas lalong lumalala. Yung sabi ko sa inyo kanina, yung hepatitis B, no, medyo BI, no, marami siyang hinahatak ng mga kaibigan niya, kaya ganoon. So later on, pag-usapan natin, no, Venus, pag-usapan natin later kung paano nga ba natin mo prevent ang viral hepatitis. This is very, very good question. And then si Thid Onzol, no, sabi niya, may related po ba na pagkain sa pagkakaroon ng hepatitis? Actually, mayroon. No, mayroon. Kung matatandaan natin kanina, sinabi natin specifically si hepatitis A, kapag hindi maganda yung pagkakahugas ng inyong mga pagkain, no, kung kayo ay mahilig sa mga street foods, yan, maaari po kayo magkaroon ng hepatitis A dahil siya po ay ang transmission niya is fecal oral. So kapag hindi masyado maganda yung pagkakalinis, no, or medyo madumi yung kapaligiran, maaari po ito na magdulot ng ganyan. So yun ang yung ating sagot dyan. And then kay Leslie naman, okay, Leslie Ann Camet Lucernas, no, nakakahawa po ba? Yes, nakakahawa po ang iba't ibang klase ng hepatitis viruses. Like for example, yung nga sinasabi natin kanina, fecal oral, yung hepatitis A, percutaneously, yung hepatitis B, and also itong si hepatitis C, ganon din, no? Pwede rin siyang makuha percutaneously or through cuts and bruises ninyo. Pwedeng masalin yan sa inyo sa mga tao na mayroon pong hepatitis C or hepatitis A, hepatitis B, no? So maaari yan. So ayun, medyo marami na akong dinaldal dito, no? So ano po ang pinakamalalang klase ng hepatitis? So hepatitis C po, dahil po pwede po siya maging cause ng chronic disease, no? So marami na akong masyadong dinaldal. Let's go to the next one, no? So yan, nasagot natin yung kay Narcisa. Ayun, madami akong naidaldal tuloy, no? So let's go to hepatitis D. No, meron po tayong hepatitis D. So sorry. Ayun, mamaya natin puntahan yan. Meron pa po kasi tayong hepatitis D. Si hepatitis D naman po, mga kababayan, ay actually ay envelope naman siya. So dito si hepatitis D, it is actually called also delta hepatitis. Ito naman ay hindi masyado nakikita kung wala kayong hepatitis B. So sabi nga natin si hepatitis B ay si BI. So maraming dinadala siya. So isa sa mga dinadala niyang kaibigan niya is si hepatitis D. So ito, pwede mo rin makuha siya sexually and percutaneously, ibig sabihin through cuts and bruises and sexual intercourse. So dito naman, no, again, no, ang kinakailangan natin gawin dito, dahil nga hindi ka magkakaroon ng hepatitis D kung wala kang hepatitis B, you get the hepatitis B vaccine. No? So yan kinakailangan mo. At mas maganda, makita agad na mayroon kayo nito at earlier stage. Kasi kapag naging chronic stage na yan, medyo hindi na maganda yung prognosis or hindi na masyadong maganda po ang inyong development ng disease. No? So yan. Ang dami pang dinadal. Sorry, baka mag-overtime. Let's go to the next topic. No, let's go to the next topic, which is actually how do you know if you have viral hepatitis? So marami pong tests, no? Marami pong tests para magkaroon nitong klase ng mga viral hepatitis, no? So ano ba itong mga tests na to? Let's go to the next slide po, no? So, moving forward, makikita niyo po dito kung paano niyo ba malalaman. Malalaman yan, no? Kapag meron kayo mga symptoms katulad ito, fever, loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, no? Pagka yung mga ganyan po yung inyong mga nararamdaman, medyo magtakataka na po tayo. And then you also have diarrhea, no? Madalas nagda-diarrhea ang tao. Minsan nagkakaroon ng pagbabago sa color ng inyong urine, no? Also, kapag yung inyo pong mga dumi ay nag-iiba ang kulay, maaari din po na hepatitis yan, and then also joint pains. Also, maaari din, no, ang isang constitutional symptom na sinasabi natin dito kapag nagkakaroon ng hepatitis ay yung jaundice or yung paninilaw. But not all, no, hindi po lahat ay mayroong jaundice or paninilaw, especially kapag mga bago pa lamang or minsan kapag nawawala na yung virus pero nandiyan pa rin yung infection, maaari na hindi na nagpe-present with your jaundice or yung paninilaw. So yun, andan na naman dinaldal. So yun, any
So
question?
Doc, if you have these symptoms, what kind of tests do you take to know that you have hepatitis? And also, are these symptoms that you see, are they how long will you have them, and are they early hepatitis or it's a very late na in the stage?
Yan. Sabi nga natin, no, iba't ibang viruses, no, iba't ibang hepatitis virus, iba't iba rin yung iba't iba rin yung duration ng inyong symptoms. Like for example, your hepatitis A show up around 2 to 6 weeks after the virus entered your body. No, with your hepatitis B naman, you usually the symptoms are the same as hepatitis A, but you usually get them 3 months after you get infected. No, and then the symptoms can show up anywhere from around 6 weeks to 6 months later on. And then for hepatitis C, usually parang mga 6 to 7 weeks after you get the virus inside your body. And then you can notice the symptoms at around 2 weeks to 6 months later on. So what are the tests? What are the tests na kinakailangan nating makuha dyan? No? So dyan, no, nagagawa po tayo ng mga blood tests. And then tinitingnan natin yung viral load. Tinitingnan natin kung gaano kadami na viruses ang mayroon sa inyong katawan. Mayroon pong mga viruses na tinitingnan, may mga virus titers po tayo na tinitingnan kung gaano kataas itong mga virus titers dito. And this virus titers po will say kung ano siya, no, kung anong klase ng virus ang meron kayo. And then you can also have yung liver biopsy as well. No, tinitingnan natin 'yan para it is actually the for hepatitis para malaman kung gaano kataas or kung ano yung pattern mismo ng nasa liver niyo. Also, sometimes nagtitingin din tayo ng bukod sa inyong hepatitis profile, tinitingnan din natin yung inyong mga liver function tests, no? And then tinitingnan din po natin yung syempre yung inyong ultrasound, titingnan natin kung kamusta yung liver niyo, if it develops cirrhosis or not. And then, of course, no, the best pa rin talaga is a thorough history and physical examination from your doctor. So, never na nakalimutan magpakonsulta sa inyong mga doktor kapag po nagkakaroon na kayo ng mga sintomas.
Mm-hmm. So, Doc, when you go to the doctor and then you come up with these symptoms, is it like immediately na magpa-test ka for hepatitis, or it will take a long time, or kasi my history kana like family or you're an at-risk group, that's when they do it?
Yeah, if you're if you are a member of the at-risk groups, no, if kapag nasa risky na yung groups na group classification ninyo, your doctor will definitely have you tested for this one. Kapag kaya tayo gumagawa po ng history and physical examination. Titingnan natin kung gaano kayo ka-at risk of having these type of infections. That's why your primary care doctors matagal yung konsulta. Usually kapag bago kayo, no, katulad sa amin, no, pag bago kayo, tinitingnan muna namin, iniintindi muna namin kung saan ba kayo nabibilang, no? Kung ano yung mga symptoms niyo ito ba ay basta na lamang simptomas, or ito ba ay a symptom of something else. Kasi 'di ba, sabi nga natin kanina, yung mga symptoms na pinakita natin kanina ay hindi ay kunyari fever, no? There are a lot of causes for fever, but then again baka pala ito ay ganito. So tinitingnan yan ng mga doktor ninyo kung saan po kayo nabibilang na group, no. So ayun ang kinakailangan nating malaman diyan. So kung saan kayo nabibilang, and then aalamin natin kung ano yung mga tests na dapat po para sa inyo.
So Doc, sino ang at risk sa hepatitis?
So, sino yung mga at risk sa hepatitis? Una, depende sa mga hepatitis viruses natin, no. So, definitely number one, yung mga mahihilig sa seafoods, sa street foods, no. Yung mga mahihilig sa street foods, okay? Yung mga mahihilig sa street foods, yung mga yan, maaari kayong at risk for hepatitis A. This is because yung street foods natin, minsan kapag hindi masyadong malinis yung pagkakagawa dyan, maaari na magkaroon kayo ng fecal oral route of infection. Yung mga maaari na yung dumi ng hayop or kayo mismo, no, kapag kunyari nag-CR yung nagpe-prepare, and then hindi masyadong na malinis yung kamay, tapos humawak sa pagkain and all that, o pwede kayo magkaroon ng ganyan. Kapag meron kayong history ng sexually transmitted diseases, pwede po yan. And then kapag if there are groups that are other groups include your men having sex with men, and even yung mga even vaginal sex as well. Pwede rin na at risk kayo if you are sexually active and you don't use contraceptions. And then other mga iba pang mga tao ay yung mga nag-use ng mga illegal drugs. Okay? So yung mga tao din na meron ng HIV infection, pwede magkaroon ng concomitant hepatitis B infection or even hepatitis C, no. So kinakailangan alamin natin kung saan kayo nabibilang. So pwede rin na if you are born to a mother who had hepatitis C. So ayun, yung maraming kinakailangan malaman sa history po ninyo. So it is not a one size fits all na lahat. Patingnan na lang natin. So tinitingnan po natin kayo.
Okay. So Doc, kung nagpa-test na ako and then the test comes out positive, what can I do to prevent spreading hepatitis to, my loved ones?
Okay, so these are the tips for you para sa primary care natin, no, para hindi kayo makapag-spread out pa ng mga viruses. Number one, dahil nga po sinabi natin that most of these viruses have a percutaneous mode of transmission. So, ibig sabihin yung mga cuts and bruises ninyo. So, you cover cuts and bruises. Kaya kayo mayroon mga band-aids na ganyan. You cover them. Kasi po pwede kapag nagkaroon ng parang kunwari makuha nyo, no, yung virus that are being shed through your cuts and bruises. So, number one, cover them. Pangalawa, sa mga babae po, you carefully throw away your bandages, no, your tampons, your tissues, and your sanitary napkins. Makita niyo sa next slide. You have to carefully throw it away because some of the viruses are being spread. No? Some of the viruses are being spread through body fluids, at kasama po dyan ay yung mga secretions niyan. So kinakailangan itapon niyo po ng maayos, palutin niyo muna if you have those infections. Or kahit naman wala, no, it is actually a hygiene thing, no, para naman sa ating lahat. Itapon po ng maayos itong ating mga wastes na ito. Also, isa pa to, dahil nga most of the viruses ng hepatitis na nagko-cause ng hepatitis are through percutaneous route as well. Do not share your razors, nail clippers, or toothbrush. No, kasi again, body fluids pa rin, no, the cuts and bruises, no, kapag ganyan, kunyari sa skin niyo, no, pagka nag-share kayo niyan, pwede na ma-transfer niyo inyong virus. Also, sa toothbrush, kapag nag-bleed yung gums niyo, no, pwede rin ganoon. And also, there are nail clippers as well. And then, if your blood gets on objects, no, tanggalin niyo yan. Tanggalin niyo agad or bleach niyo talaga siya. And then inyong hugasan ng maayos, no, if you have your blood on objects talaga, kailangan talaga linisin ng maayos yan. And that will be our next slide actually, no. So yung kunyari naglilinis kayo ng kakainin ninyo, no, o pwede yan, or tapos ay nanik ninyo yung balat ninyo, So yun, po pwede na mag-transfer doon sa, like for example, sa chopping board. So linisin niyo po ng maayos yung inyong area. Also, no, also the next one is kapag ka sa ating mga nagbe-breastfeed na mga mothers, kapag ka po merong crack, no, or bleeding yung nipples ninyo, and you have hepatitis virus, we suggest that pagalingin muna po natin, no, and do not breastfeed muna po kasi again percutaneous route and then body fluids maaari po talaga na mag-shed yan, no, your viruses. And dahil nga, no, ilan sa mga viruses din natin na hepatitis ay maaaring makuha sa inyong body fluids. Do not donate any body fluids or organs if you have the virus. Kasi no, definitely transfer niya sa ibang tao. Also, if you inject drugs, no, sa mga nagda-drugs po, no, unang-una, tigilan nyo na yan. No? Unang-una talaga, tigilan nyo na yung pagda-drugs. And kung hindi, parang ang pangit naman sabihin na kung hindi nyo talaga matitigilan. If you inject drugs, do not share the needles or other equipment. Kasi your needle stick injuries, no, yung mga needle stick injuries po ninyo na yan po ay maaari ding mag-cause din ng transfer of the infection. So, kinakailangan nyo, yan yung mga tips natin sa kinakailangan talaga. Iwasan nyo po yung paggamit na lang ng drugs. Iwasan nyo lang po yung paggamit ng drugs, specifically kapag nag-i-inject kayo sa mga sarili ninyo. Iwasan nyo na lang sana. Kasi lalo kung illicit drugs yan, kung illicit drug use yan, tigilan nyo na po. Wala pong mabuting didudulot yan sa inyong mga buhay. And then, so another question is, how can I protect myself, no, from viral hepatitis? From viral hepatitis, kinakailangan protection din nyo ang sarili niyo. So number one, no, unang-una dyan is if you have the chance to get yourself vaccinated for Hepa A and Hepa B. Sabi nga natin, your Hepa A and Hepa B, mayroong virus. Pero si Hepa C wala. Kasi again, it is a quasi-virus. No? So si Hepa B meron. So if you get the Hepa B vaccine, no, maaari na hindi na rin kayo magkaroon ng Hepa D, no, yung hepatitis D virus, which is actually the Delta virus na kinakailangan niya ng katulong para ma-infect kayo na sa tulong ni hepatitis B. So you don't get hepatitis B if you get vaccinated. Number two is if you're sexually active, you use your barriers, no? You use condoms during sexual intercourse. This is so that yung transfer of fluids ninyo sa inyong mga partners ay hindi ganoong ay mapiprevent natin. Kasi nga sabi nga natin, your body fluids are the ones that are being transferred or yung kumbaga yun yung iyong yun yung nagiging mode of transmission ninyo. So iwasan nyo. Also, practice good personal hygiene such as thoroughly washing your hands with soap and water. Tandaan po natin na pwede po na makuha ang hepatitis A kapag hindi po maganda ang iyong hand hygiene or personal hygiene sa pamamagitan po ng fecal oral route. No? Kung galing kayo sa CR, tapos hindi kayo nagugas ng kamay, tapos nag-prepare kayo ng food, may hepatitis A pala kayo, pwede po kayo makahawa sa ibang tao or pwede kayo makapag-transfer sa ibang tao. So you have to have a good personal hygiene and also wash your hands with soap and water. Fourth, do not use infected personal items. Again, infected personal items, dahil nga po pwedeng exchange of fluids yan, so never ever share yung personal items niyo. Hygiene din po yan. Also, if you are getting tattoos or body piercings, wala namang hindi naman sinasabi na bawal magpa-tattoo or magpa-body piercing. We are not shaming anyone, but kinakailangan lang po na safe kayo, safe kayo. Kinakailangan maayos din po yung hygiene ng mga tao na gumagawa sa inyo ng mga tattoos. Also, kinakailangan din po na maayos din po yung inyong yung siguraduhin nyo na maayos yung kapaligiran, siguraduhin nyo na nagpapalit din sila ng mga needles kapag if you're going to get yourself tattooed, so kaya kinakailangan talaga prevention, Also, you have to have a good source of your fluids. Kinakailangan you drink plenty of water. You drink plenty of water, everyone. No? Kinakailangan marami kayong tubig para po ma-hydrate kayo kasi kinakailangan din po talaga natin ng hydration during those times. Also, kapag dagdag ko lang sa plenty of water, if you have hepatitis as well, no, or any type of infection, kinakailangan maayos din po ang inyong pagkain. You have to have a load of high calories, high protein para malabanan niyo po yung immune response. Also, you have to strengthen your immune system. That's number 7, no? Dahil po kapag maayos po ang inyong immune system, dahil nga itong mga ito ay mga viruses, pwede po na makatulong, no, yung pong inyong mga yan sa pag-fight off ng infection. Kinakailangan din po na tama rin po yung pong inyong mga iniinom na supplementation, like for example your acai berries. Ito po mga ito ay nakatutulong po para sa inyong mga immune system, no? Bakit? Because it has higher oxygen radical absorbance capacity. Yung high ORAC value, ito po yung sinasabi natin dito sa ORAC. Ibig sabihin nito ay ito yung nagbibigay sa inyo, no? Yung ORAC value kapag mataas yan. Ito yung nagbibigay sa atin ng mataas na uri ng mga antioxidants which can help us fight off infections. Hindi sinasabi na ito po ay gamot para sa hepatitis. Ang sinasabi po ay ito ay makatutulong sa ating katawan habang nilalabanan niya yung virus na yan. Some of the viruses like hepatitis A, hepatitis B can go out, no, sa inyong sistema nang walang naiiwan, no, or nang walang naiiwan na residual effects. However, minsan naman kapag chronic na, ayan, dyan tayo nagkakaroon ng problema. Both po, no, kung meron man, no, this can really help. No? Pwedeng makatulong, pero hindi naman sinasabi na this is your cure. Ang sinasabi natin po, pwedeng makatulong sa pagpapalakas po ng inyong immune system. So you get your sources of food, no, from good quality sources, like for example your fruits, your vegetables, your nuts, seeds, your legumes, your whole grains. And pagka ganyan, no, sinasabi natin parati, get a rainbow every day. More of your red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And specifically, no, sa marami po niyan na antioxidant is from the berries. At kasama po dyan is yung acai berry natin. And that ko sinabi.
Okay, I know. Thank you, Doc. Let's see if everyone was listening, no? So to our mga viewers, we have a new segment this week. It's called Wellness Facts and Myth. Were you actually listening? So we have to guess each statement kung fact ba ito or myth. We invite you to comment below to see whether it's actually a fact or myth. Okay, so first statement.
So your first statement
is hepatitis A, B, and C are different viruses with different modes of transmission and clinical manifestations. Fact
all right, so
or
comment down below. Comment down below, everyone.
Okay.
So is it a fact or a myth? Comment 1.fact or comment 1.myth. So ito, si Koy, no, it is a fact daw. Yes, it is actually a fact. No? Sabi nga natin, magkakaiba sila ng modes of transmission and clinical manifestations as well. Like for example, your hepatitis A is fecal oral. No? So pwede siyang makuha kapag hindi tama yung inyong paghuhugas ng kamay. Your hepatitis B and hepatitis C can be transferred percutaneously and sexually. So pwedeng ganun. And of course, magkakaiba din sila ng manifestations. All right. So yeah, congratulations everyone for a good listening skill.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's listening, Doc. Okay, so number two.
Number two,
it is nearly impossible to cure hepatitis C. Fact ba ito or myth?
it is a fact. Is it a fact or a myth?
Is it a fact or a myth? So let's see. I still see people answering for number 1, Doc. Yeah. So let's wait for number 2.
Yes, let's wait for number 2. It's again it is 2.fact or 2.myth. Okay,
ito. So, si Zeng says fact.
Zeng. Okay. Actually, no, this is actually a parang a trick question for me. It is a magulong question din kasi talaga siya. So it is both a fact or a myth. It is nearly impossible to cure hepatitis C if it progresses to the chronic infection. So it is a fact. And if it progresses to liver cirrhosis and cancer. So mahirapan na talaga tayong i-treat yan. It is a myth, no? Because kapag na-catch mo early, pwede naman siya ma-cure. So, but then again, kapag chronically na talaga, chronic talaga yung problema, maaaring mahirapan na talaga tayo i-cure si hepatitis C. So yun.
So yung
kinakailangan
statement
talaga
really
prevention.
depends.
Yeah,
Oo.
the
So yung statement really
depends.
depends on kailan, that you were
Yeah.
able to test it.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That was a tricky one. So number 3. Let's move
Number
on to
3.
number 3. So statement number 3 is all patients with hepatitis have jaundice. So ano ba yung jaundice? It's when your skin turns yellow, diba, Doc? Like you were
Yeah.
saying earlier.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's wait for people to comment. 3 dot, fact or myth?
Sige.
Okay, so Leslie says fact.
Leslie says fact. Koy says
Si
fact.
Koy says fact.
Mhm. Alright. So, ito, ang sagot dyan, it is actually a myth. It is actually a myth. Hindi lahat
Okay.
ng tao ay mayroong mayroong hepatitis ay may jaundice. No? Mayroong mga tao na hindi nagpo-produce ng jaundice. So, kaya hindi lahat ng tao na may hepatitis ay may jaundice. Pwede rin naman na mild lamang, no? Mild lamang kaya wala silang jaundice. But then again, kapag ka nagkaka-jaundice ang tao, ang usually na unang tinatamaan yan is yung mata. Because you have a protein there na mas kinakapitan nung paninilaw na yan. So, yun ang inyong mga sagot dyan. So, it is actually a myth, no? Ang hindi lahat ng tao ay pwedeng magkaroon ng jaundice, no? Pero most of the people who has hepatitis pwedeng magkaroon ng jaundice. Most.
Okay, so that's a very tricky question because I saw a lot of people answering fact. But okay, good thing we clarified that. So number 4 question is, you can't have sex if you have hepatitis C.
Ito.
So ano ba ito? Fact or myth?
Fact or myth? Number 4.
So comment number 4 dot fact or myth.
Or dot myth. Sabi ni Leslie, fact. You cannot have sex if you have hepatitis. Si Thid, also fact. No? Okay. Sige, Gian says myth. Okay. So the qualifier here is that you cannot have sex if you have hepatitis C. Pwede naman, but you have to use barriers. You have to use barriers kasi to prevent spreading pa yung virus, no?
So
But you
yung
cannot
condom.
have sex. You cannot have sex ng walang unprotected kasi maaring kang mag-transmit ng virus. So kinakailangan talaga i-qualify natin yan. So yes, kinakailangan ay mayroon po kayong protection. Practice safe sex, everyone. Okay,
so last fact or myth question. So number 5, you can get hepatitis C from sharing eating utensils. So fact or myth ba ito? Comment. 5 dot fact or myth. So Koy says fact.
Koy says fact. Leslie says fact. Gian says fact. Roma says myth. Okay. So the answer here is actually myth. No, not by sharing utensils lang. No, kasi again, hepatitis C is more of your percutaneous, no? More of your percutaneous route and sexually route, no? So hindi, kinakailangan magkaroon ng COTS muna bago mangyari yan. So pwede rin naman if there are COTS talaga, no? Like for example, if you have COTS sa inyong mga bibig, no? Pwede yan na mag-shed kayo niyan percutaneously kung gagamitin niyo yung eating utensils na yan. So, kinakailangan talaga i-qualify natin yung sarili natin. So, the best way, again, everyone, is to prevent these things from happening. So, kinakailangan po ay maayos po ang inyong kalusugan. No? Mahirap maghabol ng kalusugan kapag ka nasa banig na po ng karamdaman. That's why, kinakailangan po na i-prevent natin ang mga sakit na kagaya nito.
Okay, thank you, Doc. I think that was a great takeaway. Like we said, for all lifestyle diseases, prevention is better than cure. Always. So I think that was a very informative session, Doc. Thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah.
And I hope we can see you again in the next coming weeks. And thank you for participating in our very first Wellness Factor Myth.
Yes. Sige po, ingat po lagi.
Okay, thank you, Doc Ingat. Okay, so thank you for joining with us today. I'm so happy to see all of the people participating for yung fact or myth section namin. So also, we just wanted to invite you to try out our organic products down below here on our website, as well as for inquiries, you can text or call these numbers. And then if you've already tried our products, but you want to share them with your family and friends, we invite you to become an official Organique reseller on Olani. So Olani PH, you can check them out on Facebook, is our official direct selling platform. So dito sa Olani, you can get discounts on your favorite Organique acai products while selling them to your close family and friends. So our motto here is share the health, spread the wealth. Olani is also one of the official direct selling platform of other brands such as Mestiza Philippines and Nua Organics. So please check them out at Olani PH on Facebook. Thank you. Now for the winners of this week's game. Now this week's game is a bit new because my screenshot and then you have to fill out the puzzle. So let's just do a drum roll. Dun, 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 dun. So yung winners this week are Julius Miguel, Cheryl Ediza, Clarice Joy, Jiro Nathaniel, Normalita Kalingasan. So congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you so much for participating in our game. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit tricky because it was a really long maze. But I'm happy to see that you all participated, and for all of the people who also participated in our Fact or Myth, I'm happy to see that you all learned something. Now, that brings us to the end of this week's Wellness Wednesday. What are your takeaways? Please comment them below, as well as if you want to see any other topics for the next coming weeks. So thank you and good evening.
Wellness Wednesdays with Organic. We care because you matter.